What up guys, it's Jose. This is calcium. Now calcium's range is from 8.5 to 10. Signing something for this one is pretty easy. The aspect of it's pretty easy. Intervention is it's really easy. But you really need to know the difference between hypo and hyper. It's like a question that a lot of nursing teachers like to ask. It's definitely going to be Nclex. So the first that we'll talk about is hypokalemia. Hypokalemia basically means that the patient's, calcium level is below 8.5. Contributing factor for hypokalemia can be because they're not taking enough calcium. It could be because of the fact that they're not taking enough vitamin D. And the reason why for that is vitamin D actually helps out with calcium. So if you're taking calcium but you're not taking vitamin D, it's not being reabsorbed in your system. So you're probably just peeing it out and it's not being absorbed. So when it comes down to calcium's always going to be calcium and vitamin D. Other things that could result to it is, renal failure, because it's not filtering correctly. It could be because of the fact that you're taking certain things that's letting go of too much things, like caffeine, because caffeine makes you pee a lot. It could be laxatives, like the regular, like laxatives, diuretics. But probably when it comes down to calcium, it's also nicotine. So one thing too, when it comes down to calcium, also say parathyroid with calcium. So if there's a decreased level of parathyroid in your system, parathyroid hormones like secretion coming out, whatever, there's going to be a decrease on calcium. So that could be one of those things that triggers it off. And since things coming out, there's disease and stuff that deals with it, diarrhea, and of course Crohn's disease, because Crohn's just like ghost stuff. Sign of symptoms for hypokalemia, there's tachycardia and hypotension, but the big one, we're talking about the big one, the one that you need to know, because most likely this will be in your Nclex question. It's a fact though. I don't know, but I'm gonna have it's right here. It's it right here. That Truvestec or whatever. Truvestec, the C, just think of the C as the cheek. The thing is, when there's a stimulation on the cheek, there's going to be a grimacing on the face, like that. And there's another one which is the True Soft, just think of the tourniquet, which is like when you're putting blood pressure on the patient, you'll notice that they're going to curl up, looking like they're doing gang signs and stuff like that. They're just gonna go like this, and because it's related to nerves, calcium, nerves, no bueno, and stuff like that. So boom, True Soft begins with a C. That one, it deals with the grimacing of the face. The one with the T deals with tourniquet, which is like the blood pressure. Think of the blood pressure, they're gonna do gang signs and stuff like that. Nursing term is hyperflexion. It's gonna be a hyperflexion of the arm related to that. Since I said hyperflexion, think of hyperflexion. Since there's a hyperflexion, your bowel movement, there's going to be hyperactive too. It's going to be fast. Things are moving too fast, too sensitive. Touch cheek, your face is gonna see, because of the fact that there's like a stimulation, overstimulation of nerves or whatever. When it comes down to curling, boom, hypersensitivity, just like boom, shit like that. The D for hypokalemia is chem blood test, but of course you're going to have physical and stuff like that, where you're going to see positive sign of Truvestec or the True Soft. Intervention for hypercalcemia, of course you're going to monitor, so you're going to monitor vital signs and stuff like that, blood pressure, blah blah blah, because there's tachycardia and at the same time there's a hypotension. Also remember that you're going to decrease stimulation of the environment, where you're going to try to keep the place nice and calm and chilled out, because of the fact that things are Ike, dog, 1 second. Ike, baby, what you doing, yo? Dog, that's gonna be our gas. There we go. Special guest, baby Ike. He's my supervisor for today, but yeah, so you're going to decrease stimulation of the place, and they're going to do is increase calcium intake. Now when it comes down to calcium intake, the basic would be like I give them milk or whatever like that, but the diets, one of the big ones where that actually give it to you. The big food selection that they'll actually offer, like in the multiple choice, will most likely be sardines, because it's weird, it's random. Like sardines, really? Calcium? Sardines actually is a good source of calcium. Other things too, you're going to put them in seeds of precaution. You're going to, just in case if there's like a dangerous level of calcium deficit, you're going to have calcium gluconate. Next is hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia basically means that the patient's calcium level is above 10. A couple of things that could trigger off is too much calcium. Other than And calcium, it could be too much vitamin D, because again, vitamin D and calcium are like buddies. They're like Bonnie and Clyde. It's like iron and vitamin C. They're like best friends. They're like BFF. They're like, you know, they're both booze with each other and stuff like that. So if you give too much vitamin D, it's too much calcium in the system. It could be a couple of things as well too. It could be because of the fact that, you know, you have a fracture where calcium is leaking out of your bone. Aside from that too, it could be that you're bedbound, where the calcium's seeping out of your bone because it's not doing nothing. It's like beyond rough. Like I said before, there's going to be a relationship with parathyroid. There's an increased level of parathyroid where the patient is hyperparathyroid. There's going to be an increased level of calcium, because calcium and parathyroid, it's the same thing, bro. Kidney, if there's a kidney problems, of course, it's going to be end-stage renal with calcium, because, you know, you're not filtering out, you're not letting go correctly. Feel me? Sinus symptoms going to be increased heart rate, increased blood pressure. Remember that hypokalemia basically sped things up. With hyper, it's the opposite. Basically, things are slowing down, so the patient is going to be constipated, because in hypo, the patient is going to have diarrhea and things are going in and out, whatever, because it's overstimulated and stuff like that. When it comes down to hyper, everything's going to be slowed down. Bowel sound's not going to be that much, and reflex is going to be slower. Abdominal is going to be distended, because, you know, the movement is slowed down. Definitive diagnostic test will be chem blood. Chem blood will let you know, be like, yo, this person's like calcium levels like over 10, bro. Always going to do vital sign. You're always going to do like sinus symptoms and stuff like that. You're always going to do that. You'll see that. Psychic. So much distraction, but intervention is going to be vital sign. You also want to get like medications that's going to help a reabsorption of calcium from the blood back into the bones, like acetonin, biphosphonate, proglycin, and to let go. And if the medication's not really helping, you know, dialysis. Usually when it comes down to renal failure, it's usually like dialysis and stuff like that, but that's more like, you know, urinary and stuff like that. So basically that's calcium. Yeah. What am I gonna do? I'm going to record. I'm going to record their blood gas. That's really going to be. That's going to be really short. I mean, short. It's going to be like super short. Most likely that's gonna be like, I don't know, like 5 minutes or so, or 3 minutes. I don't know. When it comes down to people doing arterial blood gas, people make it all complicated. Be like, no, bro, it's pretty simple. But I'm going to end this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Most importantly, always be happy. Peace.